Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace. Monetary energy, core of the earth, doubles every year. Listen to my words. Selling doesn't hurt. Selling is absurd. It's like cutting off your wings, but you want to be a bird.
Okay, welcome back guys. This is a follow-up video to what I did yesterday. So you can see the coin market cap from yesterday. We'll just refresh that and see what's happening right now. So we can see the volume has dropped off a little bit. We can see BTC volume has increased. We can see market cap, we have dropped about about $100 billion we dropped. So other than that, let's move straight into what I want to show you today. Not this one. This one. So this is a follow-up to yesterday's video. I want to show you something that I saw. So obviously you saw me drawing this, and I know a lot of you guys might be thinking, okay, he's just drawn a cup and handle. That's one of the scenarios. There's actually a few scenarios playing here, right? So if we just take this Fibonacci off for now, let's take this Fibonacci off. Let's leave all the other lines and let's take these scribbles off. So this is exactly as it was. I didn't do anything. I left it as it was. I didn't save anything. So I'm just deleting these white lines, and as you can see, it's following the pattern anyway. So let's leave that. I'm not bothered about these patterns because we have some bigger stuff to do. Right, let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of our scribble. Oh, we've got one more here. Right. Okay, so we're here right now. As you can see, this is the pattern that we've got currently. So what are we seeing? So this is the previous all-time high, right? If we are to see a cup and handle, then obviously this is what we will be seeing. Okay, this is what we'll be seeing for the cup and handle, and it is a possibility. It is going to definitely play out like a cup and handle, but not quite yet. But I want to show you what I see, and I'll leave this as an overlay just for now. Let's make it slightly smaller. Too small. Here we go. So you can see this, right? And let's show you what I'm seeing, right? So let's see if you can guess as well, if you see what it reads out. Right, let's just put it here, and let's just put it here, and let's just put it here for the second. Now this is not the exact pattern, this is just one of the scenarios, right? So this is definitely, everybody knows, a head and shoulders, right? This is definitely a head and shoulders. It's not going to play exactly like this, but what I'm looking at, when I'm looking at the chart and when I'm seeing what's going on, especially with these levels here, this does look like a lovely support if we break above. So if we are going to play the pattern and we are going to come to this level here, this, remember, is our greater trend line where we will face a lot of resistance, right? So as you can see, the blue boxes were the resistance sections, right? So let me just get rid of this for a second. So the blue boxes are the resistance zones that we are going to be facing, right? And we've got massive because of this longer trend line that I talked about. So as you can see, it's a very longer trend line. So I've got this weird feeling that we are going to see this. Now also in this cup and handle pattern, we might actually see something very similar as well. Let me show you what I mean. Let me get, yeah, that should do. Let me just put this here for a second. So this is what I'm seeing. So it's just for the sake of this, let's just put it here. Let's make this white. Right, actually no, let's do it differently. Let's get this out of the way. Let's not do this. Let's do an arc. There you go. Let's do an arc, right? So you'll understand better. So this is what we're seeing. So we're seeing currently this is the pattern we see currently, right? This is what we got from the data that we have, and we can see this is the pattern that we're playing. So I've got a feeling we are going to come to around this level before we do the breakout, and if we do, we can potentially even come all the way up to here, right? So I'm just leaving this as a rough thing. So we see this level here, and then we might see another one that will bring us back. Sorry, give me a second, not text. Another one that would sorry, my bad. I hate these. Right, come on. Right, let's get another one. So we get another one that will bring us back to test this line, right? So this is what I'm seeing. I think we're going to get one more to test this line now. Obviously, it's not an exact head and shoulders, but that's because of where we are. But on the diagonal frame, as you saw earlier, what I showed you. So when we go back here and when we do this again, now you can see what I'm trying to say. That obviously we need, as you know, it has to be in a certain way for it to be a head and shoulders, and the chances are that we can possibly come back to this line, or if we, even this particular line. So there are multiple scenarios playing here right now. So one, you can have your cup and handle, right? So if we click this, you can see we can have our cup and handle. Two, we can have this specific head and shoulders pattern playing out, right? This specific head and shoulders pattern playing out, or we can have this specific head and shoulders playing out. So until then, we're not out of the clear, right? So this bigger trend line is what I'm trying to show. So this bigger trend line is the current situation we've got, where we will be facing a lot of resistance, and you can already see this here. So this is what I'm looking at. So I know some people, they thought this was a cup and handle. Yes, it is, right? We can come up to here and then we can go, so for it, we can come here and then we can go sideways a little bit like this, right? This does become a handle, which is fine. Also, as I said, the other scenario that we just showed, right, where we could have a potential head and shoulders pattern playing out, where we go like this, you know, where we come back here and we come back to test these before we do the breakout, right? So it's not going to be exact to the pattern, but it might be playing on this particular line, right? So if I was to draw it again, sorry, give me a second, I know I'm repeating myself here. So on the line, let's do on the line. Let's keep it on the line, right? So there you go, on the line, right? So if we keep it on the line, sorry, my bad, on the line, there we go. All right, so we keep it on the line. So that's the pattern we might be seeing before we do a breakout. And if we do a breakout, I think that's when we will shoot and try and go there. But if we do, then we will still face significant resistance. So every time we are going to move up, we definitely going to be finding some sort of a issue. So it's not a bearish video, I'll be honest with you. This is not a bearish video. It's just telling you that what we can actually expect, right? Because of the pattern. As you can see, yesterday we drew the pattern and we said this particular box, right? We said this particular box, how we're going to be finding support around this line. And you can see exactly as predicted, we did find support around this line, right? And we might even, as I said, like, you know, we might even come and touch these zones. And even if we do touch the zone, it's not a problem, because we have this particular strong support area here. And obviously over time, right? So let's just show you this on a lower time frame. All right, so over time, the longer we spend coming down and doing all of this, the trend changes. So our lows start to become lower highs, right? To the point where eventually we might just go and say, okay, now we're going to go and we're going to break above, right? So we have attempted it once, twice, three times. We have attempted it. We have failed. So far, we've only attempted to come and touch this on like once, actually. Hold on, let's go back to the this is why I'm looking at a longer different time frame. So you can see 2 days in a row we tried it, and then yesterday we did get the dump, which brought us down here. So yeah, just looking at all of this, you can see that we're definitely moving upwards. The trend is moving up, which is good. Strong support, good. But you have to understand that there will be a significant dump, which is not bearish. It's just like kind of completing the pattern, right? So remember this pattern here. This is the pattern that we've got, and it will complete this regardless what your sentiment is. It will complete this before it doesn't move out. So we will see a massive rejection around this particular zone, massive rejection, and then we're going to come out. Also, let me do something, because I've realized something. The color's just too high. There you go, this is better. So you will see a massive rejection around these areas, right? It doesn't matter. So funnily, if we go into this area now, we will be facing the most amount of rejection, right? So if we were to do it today, most amount of rejection, because we've got all of this area to go. But if we come down here, all right, a few days later, say for example in July, right? So this is showing, like, for example, in July. So this particular point, 12th of July, if we did it on the 12th of July, we don't actually have too much resistance, right? So we can actually move up. It should kind of thin out a little bit, and we should. So what we want to do right now is try and follow this specific trend, right, until the 3rd of July, right? Or no, so up to here, for example, the 29th of June or whatever. So end of the month, we want to go up to here. We will get a rejection. We want to come back down and support it around here and then move up. So the bottom lines are still valid, by the way. So obviously everyone keeps on, like, there are plenty of people asking. And one of the questions that somebody actually asked me, and I didn't put it down, he did ask me yesterday again, somebody asked me, they said, look, is the bottom still valid, right? So remember, we had the bottom around here. So I just put line here. We had a bottom around here. This was the bottom. They are technically still in play, right? It's a technical thing, still in play. But because of all these little supports that we've made now, they are pretty strong as well. And this is a massive traffic zone, right? So when we're talking about traffic zone, we're talking about this whole area here, right? This is a traffic zone, right? Even up to here, technically it's a traffic zone. So because we've got all of this here, we are actually pretty okay, because we will go, and the strongest traffic, as you can see, as I drew yesterday, right, the strongest support is in this particular area here. This is the strongest support. So just a short update, kind of trying to show you what I saw, the pattern that I saw, and what it feels like, what it's going to do. So this is technically, like, it's a two pattern scenario. So one pattern, remember what I said to you, we will have, where is it? So the one of the patterns that we are going to have is, we're going to have this pattern here, for example, right, where we, just for the sake of it, let me put it here, and it's like this. So this is like a cup, right? We have that pattern, but that's a longer time frame, so we're not going to see that. And the other pattern that we have currently is this particular pattern, which is the let's put it here, right, which is the head and shoulders pattern, right? So it's all in the trajectory. I mean, it's all part of the main pattern. So this whole thing, as you can see, it's a zone, right? So when we color this particular zone, you can see what I'm talking about. So let's just put something in here. Let's put here to here to here. As you can see, this is all part of a pattern, right? So a pattern within a pattern, and then we have the other pattern. So here, this is what we need to expect. Some guys who are doing spot trading or something like this, you should be okay. But other people, I'm just gonna say, just be warned, because right now we are going to see a little bit of a volatility. Nothing's going to go straight up. We're going to constantly see these until we break above, and then we are going to get this rejection until we come to these areas and then go. So I'm expecting, if we do see a 47k test, I would expect it somewhere around the middle of June, July. So until then, I think we're going to face some heavy issues here, right? Heavy scenarios. So we will be rejected to break above, go to the 51k, I think, middle of June, or like, as you can see, the 10th or 11th, the 12th of June, whatever you want to call it. So this is just a rough drawing. Obviously, these are not the dates. These are not the exact dates, but this is the pattern and the scenario that I feel that we will be playing. So I thought I'd give you a nice little update on that, and hopefully, let you guys make some decisions for yourself. So far, yes, this is possible. We are going to go up to these levels before we get rejected. So I think we are going to push. Once we break this level, we are going to go. Also, another thing I haven't done in a while for the videos, I'm going to activate this as well, just to show you. So let's get rid of this for now. All right, let's get rid of everything for now and just show you what I'm seeing, right? So if you can see here, this is the 42,000. We've got the traffic here. As you can see, we need to break this support, and this is on the daily. Okay, you can see here the 43k. Once we go above the 43k, then we're coming into the 47 zone. Once we're in the 47 zone, you can see we have these very mini small resistance, but they are small mini resistance just here. After this, you don't really see anything on the SRC, but that's because this is where the manual level comes in, where you won't see what we see. So for example, we see this particular situation here where we've got this whole traffic zone here, right? This massive traffic area. This particular pattern here is a traffic zone, right? It's like, okay, up and down, indecisive. Because we see this, we put this zone in here, and we say, right, this is what we're seeing. So SRC is not saying this, and then SRC is saying up to this level, saying, okay, after we break above the 58, we're going to go. So this is on the daily time frame. It's giving us all of this info. I'm not using this info, I'm using my manual stuff because it's going to give me a lot more accurate data. So it's giving me my trend line. As you can see, I've got my trend line. I can see what's going to happen. I can see where the pattern is right now. Also remember, this is a short time trend line. We need a candle to touch this specific trend line, a third candle, right? So this is one I'll show you as well. Please understand. So we've got 1, 2. We need one more candle to touch this to confirm this is the trend line. Because if one more candle doesn't touch it and it comes down here, for example, this trend line could easily become like this. Do you see what I mean? So we need this trend line to stay intact, right? So far it's here, but it might end up here, it might end up here. So whatever happens, we need more data to confirm this is the trend line. And you, by the way, this one I'm using the wicks, right? So I'm using the lowest point for the trend line, but it doesn't matter whether you use the body or the wick. It doesn't matter. Point is we want the data to be similar. We want something else to touch this line to confirm it. So I'm hoping we touch around here. If we do touch around here, then that will confirm this is the new trend line, and we can then keep on bouncing on this trend line. Nothing's going to go up straight or anything like that fast. The pattern we are expecting, or I am expecting, is this particular one here. I want to touch on these trend lines and then go and test this particular zone here. So yeah, just giving you a few scenarios, update, a follow up on like yesterday's video. Nothing else much, guys. Market's just doing its thing. Let it do its thing. Let's have another look at a few other stuff as well. Let's see what the dominance is showing us. Give us a second. Let's have a look at the dominance. So BTC dominance picking up definitely, right? Let's see what's happened here. Right, it's picking up. We still got a long ways to go, right? We've got a long way to go. So far what I can see is this here, right? So we are kind of making this. So if you look carefully, you've got this trend line here, right? This is a really nice little lovely trend line following. So it's on an upward trajectory, which is good. That means it is trying to get back up there. How long, when, we don't know. We can only make a rough guess. So again, if I put something here and just have a look and say, okay, if I'm going to use this as my current trend line. 1 second. Sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm struggling to see what I'm seeing. Right, so let's just use this data, these candles, these wicks. Let's use that and say this is our zone. It's an ascending wedge, which means we are going to break out, right? So definitely we are going to go to this 50% level, which should be good. Also, let's have a look at total. Let's see what the total says to us. Total, right? So we've got the total market cap here. As you can see, total market cap still on the upward trajectory, recovering very well. Yep, I mean, it's a matter of time until it breaks this particular neckline. This is the neckline. Until it breaks this, it's a matter of time. We will get there. And as I said to you before as well, I said once we get to the 1.85 trillion or 1.89 trillion, this specific level here, right? So this particular candle here, for example, once we get to this level, 43, 46, it's back on the play. It's back on the play. This is what it is. Watch the market. Let the total market cap do its thing. You will see that the Bitcoin will also show you what it's doing as well. Been talking about, and I believe a lot of the guys have made a lot of money on it, which is really, really cool. So let's go on to AMP, and this is what I was showing on AMP. It's on Coinbase, by the way. So this was the launch, and we obviously, you always have a dump, and then it picked up, and so far the structure is very good. So you can see, we just go into a few hourly ones just to show you. So normally if you have a launch like this and it dumps and it doesn't recover, you know, it's goodbye, but you got to wait for it, but be patient. This one, when it came out, it dumped. From this point onwards, it's just been going up and up, and it's already gone to its Fibonacci 1-2, and it's about to go to 1618. So we can see, you know, it did try here. It tried a, what was it, 11 cents. It tried an 11 cents, and we're only trying to go to 12 cents before we readjust. So once we go to 12 cents, then we will readjust and say, okay, how far can we go? You know, so once we get to there, we can just adjust this and say, okay, now we're looking here, what's the next target, right? But for now, we're going to stay to that one target and say, right, we need to get the 12 cents before we move anything. So far this has been a great buy. I know a lot of the guys that I know, they've doubled, if not more. Like some guys even done 110% already. So that was a good buy. Yeah, I'm just waiting for it. Again, market will favor it. Remember the total. So when we look at the total, we can see, when we're looking at the total, we can see the market will favor you. All right. So as long as BTC is moving up and as long as we're in this upward trajectory, we are going to get back to these levels. And when we do, that will favor you as well. Right. So far, everything looks very bullish. I'm still long-term very bullish. My advice to anybody who's coming into the market now, what you're looking at is discounts like these, right? These are the discounts you're looking at, and these are not even the accurate discount. This is only the 30-day average, right? But these are the discounts you're getting, right, on all of the coins. So I know people talk about this coin, that coin. Just look at this number. You tell me after you look at this number, is it a good buy or is it a bad buy? Do you want to be buying at this price where it's up 84%, or do you want to be buying at this price where it's down 47%? So you decide. Obviously, pick your own coin because everybody has their own favorite. For me, this is the best. Everything else is a shit coin. But of course, I'm still invested. So no hypocrisy there. I am invested. But the point is, I try to always lock myself in more established and something that people trust. 100 million people around the globe trust this one. 2% of the planet use Bitcoin or have something to do with Bitcoin. So this is why I'm more of this a bull on this one, and everything else. It's okay, you make money, but I don't put all my faith in there, right? And these are the discounts, as I said, right? So if you want to buy anything, always try to stick to the top 10. Obviously, not tether. These are apart from these, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know about this, but yeah, you can if you want to. So if you just stick around to the top 10, right? Some of these coins we don't trust. So number one, this is number one, right? But the point is if you're buying the discount, but you've got to be prepared to hold it for 4 or 5 years. I'm not your financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. This is not a financial advice in any form or manner. So yeah, I mean, if you buy, just buy it for a long term. If you think you're going to make money in a few weeks, it's not going to happen, right? Like I mentioned something recently on someone to someone, and I said, this is where we were, right? So let's get rid of the drawings. This is where we were in March 2020, and this is where we went to in April 2021. It took us 1 year to get to this level. 1 year. We were here on the top in December 2017, and we came all the way down here in February 2019. It took us 2 years to come here. So we don't go up in a day, neither do we go down in a day. We always spend months and months getting there. So you can see from 2019 January all the way to June, so it took 6 months to get to that level. Then it dropped. It took another 6 months to get down. Then it took a year to get up to there, right? And we can show you this on basically, continuously. You can see how it took us many years to get to where we want to get to. So it's not simple as like, I'm going to get in and I'm going to make a lot of money. I know you hear a lot of people they made, XYZ amount of money, and it's all fluke, right? But listen, that's not the main thing, right? Some people just get lucky. It's just about timing. So right now, where the price is, it's not going to go back to a penny or a cent. No point. Also, look at this, what I just saw here. So this is the 200-day moving average, the red line. And what you're seeing here is we tried once, we tried twice, we tried 3 times. Do you know what? I got a feeling we're going to try it, and the next time we try it, we are going to break it. And if we do, this whole 200-day, the death cross thingy might go away. Okay? The reason I'm saying might is because you see this death cross is become a bit of an issue. Right? The death cross has become a bit of an issue. Let me try and show you here. Right, hold on. BTC USD. There we are. Let's get this short, right? Give me a second. Let me just show you this, right? Right, so this is what we got. We got all of these guys who are trying to short the market, very high. Look, very high. They're trying to short the market. You can't see another single candle like this or an area zone like this. We've never had zones like this, right? This is the entire history of this particular exchange, who's been doing short. So you can see from 2017 to now, they've never had such a high amount of shorts. And what happened the last time they had such a high amount of short? Well, they all got wiped out. And then they blamed Bitcoin for it. Well, it's not Bitcoin, it's your greed, mate. So same thing is happening here, right? These guys if they're, so these are all betting on the death cross. They're saying when the death cross comes, we are going to win, right? If the death cross doesn't come, then all of these people, I don't know how much money, but all of these people will be burned out. That's what's going to happen. Every one of these people will be burned out, right? And then they're going to cry about it, and they're going to say, oh, Bitcoin is bad and this and that. No, Bitcoin is not bad. It's you, your greed. You're betting on something. You're gambling on something. You're gambling that Bitcoin is going to come down, right? You're gambling Bitcoin's going to come down. Oh, bloody hot day. Sorry, guys. Very hot day. That's what it is, right? So, for us, we're not gambling, we're not betting, we're not doing any of that stuff. We're just following the trend. And here, as you can see, this is an older chart that we had, very old chart we had, right? And we started plotting this chart from October 2020. So you can see from here, we started plotting it from October 2020. And I'll leave these lines as an evidence just for now, right? So because I've got so many videos, guys, I can't go back and say which specific video it was, right? I'm not great at titles or anything. There are plenty of stuff like I've still left on the chart. Now, on this particular chart, there's one thing I've left that a lot of people are going to notice, right? So if you look carefully at this Fibonacci, right? At this Fibonacci, what I did was I put a Fibonacci for a retracement. And based on the Fibonacci retracement level, all right? So what you can see is the 21,442 technically still in play. So understand where I'm coming from. Technically still in play. Now, if we were to turn around and say, okay, well, that's still in play. So, what's the new scenario? Are we still going to do this or what, X, Y, Z, whatever, right? Let's find out. So let's take one from here and let's put it here. So if we have an upside scenario, you can see on the upside, right now, based on this specific chart. So this is just on this specific chart. Even then it's showing the 86. So on the bullish scenario, you got the 86. On the bearish scenario, you got the 21, right? So, everything's in play. Everything's in play. Biggest question is are we still in the bear run? Yes, we are. The invalidation point for it is actually here. The 19,645 is the invalidation point right now. This invalidated the run. Okay, so this particular bull flag invalidated the run when it came down to here. Well, it didn't invalidate exactly. We just wicked down, but we didn't actually have a single candle to cancel the bull run, the bull flag. So a bull flag and a bull run is two different things. So this bull flag that we built from here to here, it's never been invalidated. So you can see here, this is the line, and we had a few $1,000s left to invalidate this. So far, we're back up here. We're fine. We're still, we're trying to catch that thing. And as I said, the long time trend line is actually what we need to understand. So you can see this is like an average trend line where we are trying to hold and balance around. So let's see what happens, but don't use this trend line, guys. This is just a rough thing I've done. This is not a trend line. Okay, remember the trend line, if you want to use the trend line, use this one, right? Use this one because this one I've put all the data on it and it's a little bit more cleaner without the fibs and this and that, and you can actually take a screenshot of it. And let me make it larger for you so you can get the screenshot of the prices as well. So these white lines are what I've put in, right? These are my zones. So you can see these are my zones. So this is my support zone, resistance on the line, support zone, resistance zone. I can color them differently if you want, but I hope you guys already understand what's going on. And remember, this can be moved up and down because we need one more point of confirmation. We need one more contact. As soon as we get one more contact onto this, then we confirm this is our trend line. Until then, it is not a trend line. Just a basic rough guesstimation of a trend line. Okay, so I hope you understand today's video. It was a follow-up to yesterday. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one. I know this one here, I'm not going to give you anything else. Any targets you're going to ask me, what is the upside, what is the downside? Guys, take a screenshot. It's already here. All right, all the prices are here. I'm not going to mention this is where you should buy, this is where you should sell. That's not my business. That's not my job. I don't do that. I'm only telling you that this is the probabilities based on maths. This is what could happen. These are based on data. So again, here the math says, for example, remember right here. So what you got here is as you can see, these are the indicators telling me what's happening, and indicators will obviously work on what's happening in the system. But this is what I'm doing it based on the data. So these are my drawings based on the data, not a computer telling me. I don't need an AI or a code word or a snippet to tell me what the market is showing me, right? This is what the system is telling me based on an algorithm, on a code that we've made. And this is what I'm seeing myself. So when we do a judgment, we do it based on our own judgment, not on a bot. I know a lot of people, they're, oh, why don't you just use a bot and this and that? Well, this is a bot. It's just a line of code, right? But we need to understand, sometimes we need to have manual input to make that judgment. A bot is not going to tell me that we're forming a head and shoulders here, as I showed you just a little while ago. Where did I put it? Let's get the head and shoulders out again. Give me a second. There, right. A bot is not going to show me that we've got a head and shoulders forming here, right? Bot doesn't know this, right? You see, the bot doesn't know this. You know, a bot wouldn't know that basically this is a pattern we might be forming. A bot doesn't have any idea about this, right? Because all the bot knows is how many wicks we got, and you know where we can buy or we can sell based on how the market's moving. That's all it knows. It's accurate, but it's not that accurate. Okay, we don't want to rely on a bot. What's the point us trading then? We might as well just plug our money and leave it and just forget about it. Let the bot do whatever it wants. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so I hope this video was informative. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on another one. Adios, amigos.